So this is the Malecon in Mahahual, which is the boardwalk here. Mahahual is the town close to the Costa Maya port. So most people who come here will come in on a cruise ship to Costa Maya. I cruised into Costa Maya in late February 2020, and I ended up walking down here away from the cruise port. So when you come into the cruise port, you'll see that there's a big pool area and a bunch of shops and restaurants that all cater to tourists, but it's not very interesting, truthfully. And all of the things that you can find there, you can find here in the actual town of Mahahual. It's about a 45-minute walk from the cruise port to the beach here on the boardwalk, or it's about a 5-minute taxi ride. The taxis in Mexico, of course, are not metered, so you have to negotiate the price of the taxi before you go, and you'll probably end up paying about 100 pesos, or a little less than $5 each way. And you do not have to tip taxi drivers in Mexico. Of course, they'll accept it, but it's not expected. So most folks who cruise into Costa Maya end up just staying the whole time at the port, and they really miss out on what I think is truly one of the more beautiful beaches that you'll find, certainly in the Yucatan, maybe anywhere in the world. You've got beautiful white sand, and you've got just crystal clear, lovely water. They have a little fence up to keep out any larger type animals. It's also keeping out a lot of the sargasso, the seaweed that unfortunately has been the scourge of the Yucatan coast lately, but you get just a really beautiful beach. And it's a lot, I think the beach here is better than in Cancun. It's going to be, even on days with cruise ships, a lot less busy. The day that I was here in February, there were 2 ships in the port, but like I said, most people made the mistake of staying in the port area and not coming here to the beach. Today is Tuesday, July 28th, 2020. And so because there's no cruising, and there has not been any cruising for the last few months, as you can see, the beach area here is not very busy. You can still find everything that you need here on the Malecon. I'm staying in a hotel, the Blue Reef Hotel, which I think is about $45 a night for a small double bed and a bathroom, a private bathroom. I just had some super delicious tacos. I got some shrimp tacos here on the beach, and they were, I think, 35 pesos a piece. And you can expect to pay about 35 pesos to 40 pesos, so a little less than $2 for a bottle of beer. And then I bought a 6-pack for my hotel room, which was 70 pesos. So about $3.50 for a 6-pack of beers. Most of these beach clubs, you're welcome to come and sit at, but they don't allow outside food and drink. So they do expect you to buy your beer from them. You can also get to Mahahual by car, which is what I did. I rented a car from Eurocar in Cancun at the airport and drove down the coast. The roads are fairly good. You do not need an international driver's license, just a passport and a valid U.S. driver's license. If you are renting a car in Mexico, be forewarned that there are local insurances that you are required to purchase and that your rental car company will probably try and gouge you on. This has been my experience. The one exception to this is Avis, but initially my Euro car rental for 1 week, they tried to charge me $225, and I negotiated with them for about 30 minutes and then started walking away, and they ran after me and ended up giving me my rental car for $125. Part of this is that because tourism has been down so much, they had tons of cars in the lot, and I think they were happy to cut me a deal. I don't know that you'd be able to do that all the time, but just be forewarned that you might want to check to see whether or not the collision liability insurance is covered in the rental car prices. Otherwise, you'll see some really low rental car prices in Mexico that once you get there, you'll be a little surprised that you have to pay an additional $16 or $17 per day in order to get the required insurance. So from here, you can see all the way around to this water tower. The water tower is the beginning of the Malecon. So that is where your taxi is going to drop you off when you come here, and then you'll just walk around. And here you can see now this is where they've been moving all of the seaweed in Saragossa every day after they clean it off. And it kind of rots and smells bad, and it can pick up some mosquitoes, so it's a real nuisance. But they've been doing a good job here managing it, even while there have not been a ton of people out on the beach. They've been really taking good care of their beaches here in Mahahual. The experience here right now, for me, is excellent. I mean, just one of the best beaches that I've gotten to experience. And as you can see, it's truly not very busy. But all the, any excursions or boat rides that you want to do are still running. In fact, you can probably negotiate yourself a pretty good deal on them. The things that aren't here that normally are, there are restaurants and bars closed, but there are still restaurants and bars open. So it's not like you can't find anything. It's just that instead of having 20 options for fish tacos, you have 5. There's still bars open. There's still mini supers open where you can buy beer if you want to take it back to your hotel. Everything that you would normally have here is still available. It's just instead of having multiples of them, now we're sort of down to a couple. But to me, that's not a really big bother. And to get such beautiful beaches mostly to yourself and just be able to enjoy it is worth any of the mild inconvenience. A couple of final notes before I sign off. Credit cards are widely accepted. You'll find Visa and MasterCard are accepted a lot of places. American Express is accepted some places, but it is fairly common practice to charge you a 3% service charge if you use credit cards, basically to cover the store's cost for the merchant fee for the credit card will get passed along to you. You can use US dollars, but you're going to get a terrible exchange rate. Right now, I think the official exchange rate is something like 23 pesos to the dollar, and you'll get 20 pesos to the dollar. So, if you're buying something small, and it might be worth it, but it can add up over time if you're trying to conserve money. And right now, in the Pueblo area of Mahahual, there are no working ATMs that I've been able to find. I found one ATM that only dispensed US dollars to begin with and was not working at the time. So I think part of this is that because the cruise ships haven't been stopping in, they haven't been servicing the ATMs as much. But also, I sort of think that if you want to spend pesos and not have to pay the 3% service fee or get a poor exchange rate, then you should seriously consider bringing pesos with you. I always recommend people pulling out money from an ATM because you get the best exchange rate from an ATM. And if you don't have it, I recommend getting a SoFi money account, which is a checking account by SoFi. I'll drop a link below. And they offer free international withdrawals at any ATM that MasterCard is accepted at, which is pretty much any ATM. So you're able to, they'll reimburse you the ATM fee. So whenever you go to withdraw it, you'll just accept the ATM fee, and then SoFi goes back and reimburses you all of that money. So it's a way to both get the best exchange rate because you get the interbank exchange rate, and to not have to pay any fees to access your money. Another account, the account that I actually primarily use that does the exact same thing, is the Charles Schwab investor checking account. But in order to, so this is the one ATM that I found that I was just referencing. As you can see, it says right on the front, US dollar. I wasn't able to see if they had a peso option because it is out of service. The Charles Schwab investor checking account has been a great account for me because it refunds all ATM fees no matter what, with basically no questions asked. The only sticking point is that you have to have a Schwab investor account, which takes an initial deposit of $1,000 to open. Once you open that account, you can then transfer it all into your checking account, but it does require an initial deposit of $1,000 to get a Schwab checking account, whereas I think you can open the SoFi money account for as little as $25, and it will function just as good. So I really like the SoFi money account, and they have just upgraded their ATM cards to MasterCard Elite cards for the debit card. So it's actually a pretty good card for debit cards, and you get that nice benefit of being able to pull out local currency wherever you are. All right, here's kind of a last shot of beautiful beach and ocean here in Mahahual, Mexico. Thank you so much for watching this today. I am going to be making some more videos over the next few days about Mexico, and of course always about my travel and how to fund travel. So if that is something that interests you, please like and subscribe. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.